Good morning, YouTube. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Melbourne. I just had my last day of work yesterday, so I've woken up feeling pretty bleary-eyed and fatigued, but we'll give ourselves a week before we head off on a trip just to catch up on sleep so that we can hit the road feeling nice and refreshed. So we spent this morning going through some calculations of how far we have to travel and figure out how many Ks we need to travel each day, which is a little bit intimidating, but has to be done. So if we jump from capital city to capital city and link that up, it's going to be about 13,000 kilometres. So across half a year of riding, if we average 72 Ks a day, roughly, we should be fine. Problem with that is that that route goes along the big main roads and doesn't go anywhere scenic, and we definitely want to be going out of our way to find those beautiful parts along the way, spend some time in places, take some 0 days. So that could really stack up the Ks, and we may be pushing something close to 20,000. But if there's places along the way that you've been to and you think are worth checking out, even if it's on the bike and a bit of a detour, let us know in the comments, because we'll definitely hit a few of those up. We're looking for some inspiration. So today's episode is one for the cycling nuffies. We're going to be working through all of the equipment that we're relying on for the next 6 months. We'll break it down and show you exactly what we'll be taking out. After that, we'll try and fit it all into our packs and see if it's actually doable. Yeah, and then we'll go for a final weigh-in at the end. So let's get into it. Alright, so this is our entire cooking system. We're taking out some fuel canisters with us. We'll go for the big ones so that they can last longer. And then we use an MSR whisperlite stovetop, which is super light. Opens up quite wide, which is nice. So it can fit all of our pots and percolators on top nice and safely, and that just screws straight onto the top of that. The next is a bit of a luxury item for us. We love our coffee, so we're taking out our percolator that we've had for years. It's pretty chunky, it's a heavy boy, but we think it's worth it. I mean, we love having coffee on the road, so this is also going to be a big money saver if we can have nice coffee. Definitely. Don't have to go to cafes every single day.
And also, going to rural Victorian cafes so far, I've not had a good track record of coffee. We're a little bit of coffee snub.
We've got the Melbourne coffee snub running through our veins. So percolator's golden for us. Next we've got our pots and pans that we'll be using. So this was a birthday present from me from Libby last year, which is brilliant. These are some collapsible bowls that we'll be working with. So they pop out, pop away. This large one is a big boy, and it's got a metal base, so we can actually cook straight onto that. And a lid so we can steam things as well while we're out there. So that's brilliant, that packs away, that's super light, that's really great. We also take out a fry pan with us. This is our knife we'll be using for cooking. Very, very sharp blade, very durable, and it's one of my favourite pieces of equipment. It's also got a flint at the end, which clips off. Other items that we'll just be taking along with us are some forks and spoons. These are just made out of coconut wood. We picked these up in Sri Lanka when we were travelling there last year. Very, very lightweight wood, and they taste good too. We've got a little chopping board that we use, a nice light one. We've got a scouring brush and a lighter.
So this is all of our sleeping gear. We've got the tent at the back here. It's a Moondance, I think. 2-person, James and I kind of fit shoulder to shoulder in it.
Tight.
Yeah. Then we've got 2 sleeping mats. James's is an ultralite one, and then mine's a bit more hefty, which also helps as like an insulator because I get a bit chillier than James. Same with the sleeping bags. We've got one thick one which you said was a 700 fill?
Yeah, this is a 700 fill Mont bag that I used in the States. It kept me comfortable at like minus 30 degrees, so that's brilliant.
Yeah.
This one we picked up at an Apollo Bay
Like the hardware shop or something.
store. And most of the areas in Australia that suits me fine. Just something pretty light. And Libby uses the big one.
Yeah, and then when it's really chilly, we join them together in a big cocoon sleeping bag, so we both keep warm.
It gets toasty. That's all we need.
And this contraption at the front is called a pump bag. Basically, you like fill it up with air like that, connect it to your mats, and squeeze the air, and it kind of inflates it rather than using your breath and hyperventilating.
Yeah, it's good. That's it. That's all we need for sleeping. Fully set up. So yeah, we'll show you what it looks like from the inside.
Yeah.
Set it all up. So we're going to start our clothing session with our riding wear. So this is everything that we'll be having on the bike when we're on the road. So picture this, waking up first thing in the morning, pretty brisk, maybe a little bit frosty, maybe not in summer, but further down the
It's
track.
still pretty chilly though.
Can get, I mean, particularly in the desert. So at the front, I've got some skins that I chuck on over the top of my bike shorts and things. We've got gloves. I just got given, Libby bought me a finishing work present, so I've got some new MacPack gloves which I'll be using for riding, but also to keep my hands warm. Thank you. We've also got some buffs, which we'll chuck around our necks, keep our faces warm when we're going down the cold slopes.
Tuck our noses in.
Next up, our rain jackets. Libby's is pretty good. Mine's a bit of a flimsy one. It was a bit of a cheapie. It doesn't do a great job. All of the rain goes through the zips and the seams, so it keeps most of it out, but I'd say it's more water resistant than waterproof.
Yeah.
Oh well. Next on the list, bike shorts. So bike shorts for us are really important. A bit of extra padding on your tush, just to make the ride a little bit more comfortable, and it also helps, like, very, very quick to dry. It doesn't build up sweat so much, so they're really great.
And we found all 4 pairs of ours at op shops, which has been great.
Op shops, because these can be
a lot.
pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Then we've got just our normal riding clothes that go over the top of our shorts. So I've got a long-sleeved, collared, breathable shirt that'll keep the sun off me. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I've got a little bit of a ginger hint to me, and my skin is quite pale, so long sleeve shirt and a collar for me.
Yeah, I got the same. I've got a long sleeve shirt and then 2 bright t-shirts for riding as well, because I'm usually at the back, so visibility is key for those.
That's it.
And then also, before you keep going, I've got a nice visible jumper to wear because I get a bit cool.
Yeah, that's it. Shorts, important. I don't ride with them on, but if we go into town, I don't want to be the guy that's walking around with
Just
a shirt
lycra.
and lycra bottoms. Just wiggling around town, so the shorts go over the top when I'm in public, for everyone's sake. Next on the list, we've got the sunnies. Where did you get these from?
I saw them an ad on Instagram. They were free, you just had to pay shipping.
Yeah, and they're brilliant. I
Yeah.
mean, they cover the faces completely. It's great in the cold mornings, great for the rain, nice for the glare.
And it's also like you kind of get that, like, nothing's impeded from your vision. With normal sunnies, like, you kind of cut off here, but these go really wide, so you've got all your peripherals.
Yeah, they're brilliant. They're good. One of my favourites for this trip, and not something that we've ever had on our tours before, clip-in shoes. And lastly, our helmet's not much to say. I've got a gyro, Libby's got a laser, Libby's got a bit more visibility at the back,
Yeah.
but I like my stealth to match all my components.
Yeah. I just like bright colours too.
Yeah, there's a bit of a trend going on with colour schemes across the board. So yeah, that's everything that we'll be riding with day to day.
Alright, and now we move on to like our casual gear, I guess you'd call it.
Everything that's in the packs.
Yeah, yeah. So normal sunnies, beanie for when it gets chilly, dress long sleeve t-shirt singlet. I'm taking a few more clothes than James. Instead of a hat, I've got like a, I don't know, I'm going to wear it as a headscarf basically. Bathers when we want to go swimming. I've got a thermal shirt and my pants, nice warm jumper, fancy shoes that we found at the op shop, thongs for just wearing around camp, and puff daddy. And yours?
Which is?
Well, a puff jacket. It's puff daddy, that's what we call him. Yeah.
Yeah, so my side, pretty similar setup. I've got a spare pair of bike shorts, one pair of casual pants to be wearing at camp and anytime we want to go to the pub, spare riding shirt, and then one casual shirt. I've got my crazy beanie, which I love so very much. Good for visibility, I guess. Casual sunnies for when we're in town, a warm jumper, just one pair of casual runners and shoes that I can wear around camp when it's a bit colder, wear into town, those kind of things, and a pair of thongs, and then my big puff daddy for the cold days.
So this is our water setup. We've got 4 of these 750ml collapsible drink bottles, which are really handy. When we're not using them, they hardly take up any space, which is great. We've also got, these ones go on our bike, in the bike holdery bits. What are they called?
Drink holders?
Drink holders, yep. So we'll have 3 of those on the bikes, which is just for everyday drinking whilst we're riding. These are kind of for top-ups or for cooking. And then we've also got one of these Cedar Summit 6-litre bladders, which we haven't used before. It's kind of a new purchase, isn't it? So we've also got water purification tablets. So whether we're gathering water from a river or from a tank, or sometimes even at a servo or something, we might need to use those just to make sure the water's clean and we're not going to get sick from it. And then we've also got our food bag, which has nothing in it yet. But when we do our shop, at some point along the trip, we'll run through what kind of food we're taking and how long it will last us. I think James, you said that'll be 3 or 4 days worth of food?
Yeah, if we're packing fresh fruit and veg, probably 3 days worth of food, maybe 4.
So this is all of our toiletries. We haven't bought everything, but I'll go through what we've got so far. First aid kit with everything we need in there. We've got our sunscreen. We've budgeted for probably 1 tube of these per week, because we're definitely going to need it.
I run through them like hotcakes.
Another essential is baby powder. That's for our little butts, so they don't chafe on their shorts. Moisturizer. We've got some earplugs. We've got some wipes, which are great at the end of the day when you've been wearing sunscreen and the dust has been in your face all day. It's good to just kind of clear your face and our feet, and it's like a mini wash. Toilet paper and a shovel. And lucky last is a microfiber towel. And then the things we still have to get are deodorant, we haven't packed yet, DEET, deodorant, DEET, teeth, toothbrushes and toothpaste.
That's it. It's pretty light on. Does the job.
Yeah, just the essentials.
So this is our bike maintenance gear. We've got sort of more everyday items at the front. So some spare inner tubes. We'll probably take another 1 or 2, I'd say, just to be sure. Yeah. A pump that fits both Presta and Schrader valves, which is handy. That's nice and light and small. That tucks away quite easily. A full multi-tool kit, just a straightforward puncture repair kit. Electrician's tape, which is very good, very handy, very versatile.
Emergency repairs.
That's it. Some chain lube. We've got some tyre levers. A pair of pliers for any spoke maintenance that we need to do. This is a spoke tool for us to change out any busted spokes that we've got. We've got a chain cleaner.
Yeah.
It's got some stiff bristles and some hard plastic so that we can clear any gunk out of the chain, make that last as long as possible. We've got some spare spokes that match both wheels on both bikes. Always cable ties. Got to have the cable ties with you. This is an interesting one that Chris from Pedal showed me. It's kind of like a temporary spoke changer. It's a bit of rope that you can put on tension. You like bend the spokes, tension it back together, and if you're in a bit of a tight spot, you run out of spare spokes, this will do a really nice job. So we'll keep that at the bottom of our kit. That's a nice idea. Backup to have. And then lastly, just a pretty straightforward bike lock. So if we're going to the shops and picking things up, we can keep our stuff safe and secure.
Oh, and what's this bit?
Oh, this bit. This is a spare cord USB charger for our dynamo hubs.
These are all the fun things that we're taking on the trip. We have a lot of time because we finish riding it generally at about, 4 o'clock? So we've got the afternoon to do things. So a deck of cards is always a must. We've got dice. We've got crosswords and Sudoku to do in our spare time. James, as a physio, also recommended that we take one of these, a massage ball or a back ball.
Back balls.
Back balls.
That'll be really nice to just take the nuts out of the neck and the back.
And lightweight too, which is good.
Yeah.
That's always a positive. Maps. We've got a big one of Australia, and then we're going to have one of each state. And then, last but not least, we've got my watercolour set.
So last but certainly not least, this is all of our tech that we'll be taking up with us on the trip. So we start from the front. This is an important one for us. We've got a UE Roll speaker, which is waterproof, shockproof, Bluetooth connected speaker. I'm going to be taking a little bike computer that detects our speed, our distance travelled, current temperature, those kind of stats that I like to have with me on the way. It's not essential, but I like seeing how fast we're going. This is a big one for us. This is our drone, and we're going to be getting some pretty amazing footage out in the desert, out on the coast when we're traveling, and we're really excited about this one. We've got the DJI Spark, which is brilliant. Moving on, we've got our camera set up. We're using an Osmo Action. It's a beautiful camera to use. It's shockproof, weatherproof. Accompanying the camera, we've got a number of different mounts. We've got our batteries in there. And we're also going to be packing these bad boys. We decided to get a few filters. So we've got these PGY Tech filters. We've got an 8 grade up to a 64 grade. So bright glary days, we've got one on right now. Just makes the image quality a lot nicer for us. A pair of headphones just for listening to music.
And for editing when we're in a cafe or whatever.
True.
Not being a pest.
This is our baby. We had a standard HP laptop and tried to do the editing. It was crashing, and it was pretty horrendous. So we got in contact with a mate who works in the area, and he got us onto this. This is an HP Omen gaming laptop, and it's beautiful. It works so quick. It's just rapid, responsive, really high processing speed, and that's been an absolute dream. Yeah. So we're very excited about that. So here's a look at all of our equipment. It seems pretty mammoth when you look at all 85 items at once. Let's hope that we can fit it all into our packs. We're pretty confident, but we'll have to see how this goes.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So I've just packed everything in. It actually fits really nice, much better than we expected. We've got enough room in there for all of our food and water, and it looks like a little bit to spare, particularly in the summer. And we don't have as much rainy gear and cold weather gear. So I'm packing two 20-litre Ultralite packs, completely waterproof and really tight. They're great. I'll put my tent on the back and lash that down with some hockey straps. I've got a sling here to fit all of the bike maintenance gear and anything sort of urgent emergency repair. And then I've got another Ultralite handlebar bag, which is a 7-litre, and that'll fit just extra bits and pieces that I can't fit in the rear. So that's my full pack setup.
Yeah.
Yours?
And then mine's pretty similar. 2 classics at the back. I'll have the water sitting in the middle of the pannier rack. I've got 2 drink bottle holders, whereas James has 1. And then I've got a classic handlebar bag, so it's got all the essentials in it. So I've got sunscreen, sunnies, headscarf, that kind of stuff in there.
Yeah. So we've also just done the final weigh-in of all of our equipment. So I don't know really how this compares with other bikes and other tourers, but I know that my total bike weight, just the bike itself without the packs, and that's plus all the trimmings, so the pannier rack, etc., that's 13.8 kilograms. The rear pannier setup is 17.1 kilos, and then the front bag is 2.1 kilos with everything in it. So the total weight for my bike and all my bags is 33 kilos on the nose.
Without food.
That's without food. I'll be packing the food, Libby will be packing the water.
Yeah. Yeah. So the total weight of mine, bike and all the bags is 28.2. The front one is 2.2, and then we've got 11.8 for the back panniers, and the bike itself is 14.2.
So that's everything. We'll put a full list of each item that we're packing that we listed in today's episode down below in the description, so you can check that out if you're keen. We're all set. The bikes have been taken in, they've been painted, we've got our equipment. Next week we hit the road.